Ready to get some coffee?
See?
Alright. Ready? Let's go. Let's go. Hey, what's up guys? Happy New Year! I can't believe that 2020 is almost here. My husband and I just grabbed some coffee from our neighborhood coffee shop, and I am excited to talk to you guys about 2020 goals. Woohoo! Okay, so I found an amazing park bench out here in Highland Park, and I have to say I'm a little bit nervous because this is my first time vlogging in public. This is kind of a different style of video that I normally do. Normally I'm sitting in my home office, but since it is about to be 2020, I am trying to challenge myself and kind of push myself to do new things. So here I am out in public. I tried to find a quiet spot so it's not too awkward, but there are some people kind of walking around, so I get a little bit like, like, don't judge me for like filming myself. But anyway, so I have my slides for you guys that I will put up on the screen, but I have them just here on my phone while I'm talking to you guys so I can kind of stay on track for this video. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is why create goals for 2020, because in general, most people make New Year's resolutions, right? But every time when I was growing up, it was kind of like a New Year's resolution it always felt like you were cutting something out, like, oh, like stop drinking soda, or I don't know, try to cut out an unhealthy habit. And I think that it's hard to cut out things in thinking about kind of the lack that it brings instead of trying to add something to your life. And so I think people's mindsets are kind of shifting towards creating goals for the new year instead of just a maybe kind of one-off resolution, which is usually to be healthier and that kind of thing. And so when you're thinking about your goals, I want to challenge you to kind of ask you just to think about like what really creates your happiness. And generally when we think about what creates our happiness, we can divide that into several different pillars or categories that kind of make up the happiness in our life. And you really need all areas to be kind of fulfilled in order to be truly happy. You could be really happy in your relationship, but if you hate your job, you're gonna be kind of miserable, right? Okay, and so I kind of came up with 9 different categories that were important to me, and some of these might be a little bit different for you, but the first one is going to be family, and then of course career, relationship, spirituality, your health, finances, travel/fun. I put /fun because travel is important to a lot of people. I think this is a big category, but it might not be important to everyone. Like literally I've met a girl that was like, all these people want to travel and I don't care if I ever travel. So that might not be relevant to everyone. I put house because owning my own house was a big dream of mine. So I put house and home, if you will, and then also a location, because where you live is extremely important to your happiness. Okay, so if you think about happiness sort of at the center of what you're trying to create for yourself with your goals in 2020, then we want to think about how can we arrive here. Okay, so the first one is of course going to be family, and I think this can be a little bit flexible and include friends and family as well, because not everyone has the best relationship with their family, and that's not their fault. Not everyone, sometimes people are born to like shitty parents, or someone screwed them over in their family and there's nothing they can do about that. But in general, we want to think about family, and of course it doesn't necessarily mean biological family, but the people that are closest to you in your life and keeping them close. When you have healthy relationships with the people that are closest to you, then that is going to be a huge source of happiness and support for your life. Right? Okay, so number 2 is going to be your relationship, and I mean your romantic relationship when I talk about this, because of course we can have all kinds of relationships, but your romantic relationship, you're going to feel unfulfilled if you don't have someone that loves you and that you can love in a romantic way. You can have all the friends and family in the world, but you really want to have that special person in your life. The next one is going to be location. So I grew up in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I always knew that I didn't want to stay there forever. It never quite felt like home to me, even though it was where I was literally born and lived for the majority of my life. But then when I moved to Atlanta, everything just clicked. It was still in the South, but it was a bigger city. I have more diverse friends, like people that think outside the box, that, you know, want to, I don't know, talk about interesting things that I'm also interested in, and we just really click a lot better. So, and by the way, I am living in Birmingham right now, if you're thinking, oh, I thought you said Highland Park, and yes, I'm living in Birmingham, Alabama right now, but my husband and I are moving back to Atlanta in 2020, so we're super excited for that. So the next one is going to kind of be house, where you're living, and that kind of also relates to your location. So we bought a house 2 years ago that we've literally never lived in Atlanta, in Midtown Atlanta, and we're so excited to move back that we finally get to live in our house. This has been a huge dream of ours that's been just prolonged, but Atlanta 2020, my husband said it about 6 months ago, and we're making it happen. So also travel and fun play into that. So even if you don't live in a location that you absolutely love, you still have the opportunity to travel on weekends and maybe try to make up for that while you are working towards moving to a place that you really do love, okay? Of course, health is gonna be a super important one. You could have all of the other pillars aligned, but if you don't feel good and you don't have energy, then, you know, that's going to suffer a little bit. And of course, not everyone is in control of their health. People have all kinds of conditions, and it's not your fault. But you know, for 2020 goals, maybe some of your goals can be, you know, what can I do to improve my health, or am I living my quote unquote best life in this arena so that I can feel as, you know, as good as I possibly can. So spirituality, of course, this is going to be different for everyone as well, but that is a big one to consider. Of course, career, finance, and when all of these things are being focused on in a balanced way, and you're able to kind of help all the stars align and all of these things start churning, then you're going to be your happiest self, okay? So sometimes it's not possible to have all of these things at once, so this is why it is a goal, right? Okay, so let's dive into number one, is family. Okay, so your friendships and your family. This is a little vision board that I made a couple of years ago, but everything on this vision board is still 100% true, and I keep this vision board because I also like to reflect and see how far I've come. Last year, my husband proposed to me in India. It was a magical engagement. I couldn't believe he did that. And, you know, I don't say this to make you feel bad, because a lot of people might be going through a terrible breakup right now. I went through a heart-wrenching breakup as well, and like, if I knew that this was coming, then like I might not have been as devastated and as sad, but like it did happen. So like, when you focus on the future and you focus on the things that you want, just realize that like you are in control of your life, and you can make these things happen for yourself, but you can't feel sorry for yourself, because the past is the past. There's nothing you can do about things you can't control. So to the best of your ability, try to let go of the things you can't control and focus on the things that you can control, and about manifesting all of the things that you want and that you really deserve to come in the future. Focus on the future. And so that's what I did. As heartbroken as I was, you know, and I don't recommend this for everyone. Everyone has to, you know, navigate this for themselves, but I started dating almost immediately. I was focused on, okay, like if he's not the one, and he, you know, sort of doesn't want, I mean, it was complicated, but anyway, you know, if that's not going to work out, then I need to focus on finding the person that it is going to work out with. And so I really didn't waste any time doing that. And then, you know, a couple years later, I was engaged. We got married last December. We had an amazing wedding. And I want to continue that, because I do have these goals for my personal life, you know, and for my relationship and for my own family. And that is going to include having my own kids, you know, like my husband is my family now, and it's cool that I am now starting, you know, I'm almost 35, so I've watched a lot of my friends and family, you know, kind of create their own family. And so it's cool for me to kind of be able to start that same process as well. Oh gosh, here comes an ambulance. I'm going to pause this. Okay, that's like the one thing about being outside, is that like these ambulances are going by, and what I also want you guys to do is ask yourself, why is this important? Like, why do I have this goal? Do I have this goal just because I think I'm supposed to have this goal? Do I have this goal because I see all these other people around me are doing it? Or is this going to actually contribute back to my happiness, like the diagram we just looked at? And so for me, spending time with family is important because, and like you should answer this question for yourself, but for me it is because my closest relationships really are the most important thing in life. You know, like if I was to lose my career or lose, you know, all of my money or anything like that, like if I have those people that are still in my life, then like I'm gonna be okay. So number 2 is career. So career is super important. Obviously, this is what, you know, you feel like you're called to do. For me, I've always been an artist. I was an art major in college, and I, you know, ended up going into graphic design, which I really hated. I really hated my graphic design job. But then I discovered textile design, I love textile design. That was like the most amazing thing that happened to me career-wise. I worked as a textile designer for 7 years. Then we moved to Birmingham, and I always thought like, okay, like I wonder what it would be like to work for myself. So I've included this vision board that I made a couple of years ago, and it really did all come true. Like it's really crazy. Like when you make vision boards for your goals, it might not all happen in 1 year, but like you can really see things start to happen and like things start to align in the universe. Like when you put things out into the universe, like the universe finds a way to make it happen for you. And like we're here in Birmingham, like I've been working on licensing. I'm a licensed artist now, which is crazy. Like I just never thought it would happen. You know, it was such a huge dream. And I'm growing online. You know, I work from home. Like I don't have to put on makeup every day. I can work out in my pajamas and hang out with my cat while I'm working and like listen to whatever I want. And I don't feel like anyone's like hanging over my shoulder or interrupting me. Like it's just really nice. And like I still get to talk to people over like Zoom calls and like Facebook Live calls. So I'm not like lonely too often. But what I want to do this upcoming year in 2020 is I really want 2020 to be the year of 10K. So if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers this year. So hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. I also want to have 10 licensing deals. So at least 10 licensing deals coming in, 10,000 email subscribers, YouTube subscribers, like I mentioned. And honestly, guys, I do want to take a minute to celebrate, because when we're trying to push forward and we're trying to grow our business and everything, you know, it can feel frustrating, like when am I going to get there? But I do want to take a moment to celebrate, because it was my goal in 2019 to hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So yay, I hit that, and I'm super excited. That's a huge milestone, and that is why I upgraded my camera. So that was a Christmas present from my husband, which was super sweet of him. And if you are trying to grow on YouTube, I do want to talk about this book. I will link it in the description, but YouTube Secrets, it's an awesome, awesome book, and it's really helped with the growth of my channel. So the next goal is also to gain 10,000 Instagram followers and have 10 Skillshare classes up online. I already have a whole list of classes that I want to create on Skillshare, and so I'm super excited to create those in 2020. Again, we should stop and ask with each goal, like, why is this important? And for me, like, and ask yourself, like, I want to grow my business, and try to fill in the blanks, because why? Like, is your business at a place where you feel like comfortable? Like, are you okay? Like, do you really need to grow your business? Or is there, you know, are you trying to grow your business because you think you're supposed to? Or is it like still exciting for you? Are you trying to like hit that next goal because it is going to contribute to that happiness center that we talked about? So for me, it's because I want to be proud of myself. Like, that's the number one thing. And also because I want to be able to support my family doing what I love, right? Like, I love my husband so much, and he has been so supportive, and like really, like I would love to be able to grow my business to a point where I'm like, honey, you don't even have to work anymore. Like, you can retire if you want to. Like, that would feel so amazing for me. And like, I don't know if he would, because he, you know, he has his own interests and like a lot of things he wants to do, but just to be able to give that gift to him is important to me. Goal number 3 is going to be your relationship, and like I mentioned, we got married last December and we've had a really great first year of marriage, but I think just kind of continuing to have that goal to be a better wife, putting him first, making him my first priority, loving him in small ways every day that I can. So that's of course important. Spirituality for me is going to be making time to like meditate, go to yoga classes because I love like the savasana at the end, and like that's really calming for me. And also journaling. Like I like to do a lot of journaling, and that really just helps me center. It helps me get clarity, and it just helps me kind of connect to that higher power. So spirituality, of course, is going to be different for everyone, but it's super important to contribute to your happiness. And number 5 is going to be health. I really feel like I've kind of slacked off this year with my health. When my husband and I were dating, we would go to the gym together all the time. And I have been going to yoga classes, but I think the pressure of trying to grow my own business, I feel like I can't go to the gym because I have to like give every second of this day to trying to grow my business. But anyway, yeah, it's not gonna help if my business is doing well, but I am unhealthy and don't feel good. So anyway, I need to get back focused on my health. Number 6 is going to be finance. You need to be financially healthy as well. If you are stressed out about money, that is not going to help your happiness bubble in the center there. You definitely need to have a plan to either get rid of your debt. It's going to be personal for everyone, but for me, it's really getting my business profitable in 2020. For those of you who follow me, you know that it takes 1 to 2 years to start getting paychecks from licensing, which I am really focusing on trying to become a successful licensed artist. And I already have a couple of licensing deals in place that I'm super excited about, but I've yet to receive a paycheck from those. So that is a little bit of it's kind of a mental struggle as well. I feel like if I could, see some of the checks starting to come in, then I would feel a lot better. And I know it is coming. It's just, it's hard being patient. And I am starting to get some more freelance jobs as well, so that's also helpful. But, for this year, for my goals and my business, I want to have my first 10K month. And if you guys follow Vanessa Lau, she put out an interesting video recently and was kind of I realized I wasn't the only one saying I wanted to have my first 10K month. And she kind of asked the question, okay, well, why 10K? Why is that important? And I think for me, it would just be such a comfortable place. And it's just a pretty easy, I don't want to say it's an easy number, but it's a pretty clean number. So it feels if I was going to say 7K, that's feels kind of random, right? But I think the goal or the key to having my first 10K month is going to be having different revenue streams, which includes things like Skillshare classes. So that's one of my goals for 2020. Is to have my first 10K month, but also start to generate a 6-figure business. I think that would be a place where I would feel really comfortable, even if it didn't grow beyond that. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to grow it beyond that, but I might not. I might literally be this is awesome. This is perfectly fine. This is where I want to be. Again, why is this important? Well, because it's kind of the same thing that I said earlier, that I would love to be able to support my family and just be proud of myself. Okay, and then number 7 is going to be travel and fun. So if traveling isn't your thing for some reason, then you can insert some other fun activity here. But I think this year, honestly, my husband and I are going to try to take a break from doing so much traveling. I am going to Florida next weekend, and then I'll probably go to Connecticut. We'll go to North Carolina, Greenville, see our family. And I put maybe Germany because my husband is half German, so we do like to go visit his family in Germany. But honestly, we've been twice already, and so we might actually skip this year just because we need to save money, and and we've been recently. So, but what I do want to do this year is really create a list, a very specific bucket list for travel, right? I kind of know in my head, but I haven't actually written it down. And so I think if we can write a list and then kind of figure out, okay, I'm almost 35, that's only 5 years left in my 30s. Like, how much travel am I actually going to be able to do, especially if we are starting a family and all this? So, you know, like, okay, like if I want to go to Africa, for example, like, am I going to be able to do that in the next 5 years? Like, I don't know. Like, I hope so. But like, if I have a whole list, maybe I can try to map out, okay, like, you know, here are the top priorities. Here's where I want to go in the next 5 years. But like, here are some places I would love to go in my 40s as well. So creating a bucket list for travel is going to be something I want to do this year. So I might not actually do a lot of traveling this year, but kind of creating a plan for that for my life, you know, YOLO. Number 8 is my house, our house, I should say. So it was, you know, a huge dream of mine to be able to buy a house when I moved to Atlanta in 2012. And I already owned a townhouse back in Greenville, South Carolina. But it took me a long time. It took me what, like 6 years? Probably 6 years to be able to sell that and buy a house, because the recession was going on, you know, things were more expensive in Atlanta, all of these things. And I really wanted to be able to buy like an actual house. Like, I didn't want to buy another townhouse necessarily. It was a great starter home and like my first property, but I really wanted to buy a bungalow. And so we found the most precious house in Atlanta. And we really got a good price on it, and it was just, it was like my dreams were coming true, and we had to do renovations on it. So what we did to make up for that was we rented it out on Airbnb for the first year, and we were planning to move in after that, kind of to make up for the cost of renovations and all these things. Well, then my husband got a job in Birmingham, so we didn't want to sell the house, but we did move to Birmingham, so we rented it for another year. So we finally get to move in February of 2020, so I'm so excited. That's been a dream. And so if it's the dream of yours to own your own house, and I say dream rather than goal, even though this video is about goals, but it's like, okay, like what's a realistic goal for the year that you can make towards owning your own house, if that is a dream of yours? So it might be, hey, I'm going to save $10,000 this year. Maybe it's $5,000. It's whatever you can realistically achieve. And I'm going to put that towards my down payment, right? So like, maybe you don't buy a house this year, but you can look back in 2021 and say, I made a lot of progress, okay, towards all of these goals and dreams that I have. So set goals for yourself that are going to, again, contribute to your dream of just total happiness. And so number 9 is location. So I've loved living in Birmingham. I think it's super cute. But honestly, I think at this age, it's just a little bit hard I feel like it's my own fault. Like, I haven't made a huge effort to make friends here and whatnot. And probably it's because we still owned our house in Atlanta, and we just love our friends in Atlanta, and always kind of probably saw ourselves going back to Atlanta eventually. And so it's happening sooner than I thought, but I was definitely open-minded to Birmingham. It's beautiful. Like, I'm in this lovely park right now that's in my neighborhood that I can walk to. I can walk to the coffee shop. It's super cute and fun, but yeah, our hearts are in Atlanta. My family also lives in Atlanta. I have 2 little beautiful nieces, and my sister lives there, my aunt, my cousins, and my mom visits all the time. So it just makes sense for us to be there. But, and my best friend, like, she had her heart set on living in Cairo, Egypt, which may seem a little bit random because she's not from there, but she traveled throughout the Middle East when she was in her 20s, and she just always wanted to live there and go back, and she just was not going to be happy until she was living in Cairo. And so for a lot of people, they have that same dream. One of my old coworkers was not going to be happy until she was able to move to New York City. Like, that was her dream, to live in New York City. And so again, like, you might not be able to move this year, but what are some things that you can do? What are some goals you can set for 2020 to work towards being in the location that's going to make you the happiest? Because once you have all of these things turning in alignment, then you are going to be your happiest self, and you're going to just have so much joy, and really, you deserve that. So leave me a comment down below and let me know if you like seeing kind of these more vlogger style videos from me, where I'm kind of walking around and doing stuff outside in my neighborhood, whatever it is. And you kind of like seeing me a little bit more outside of the office while I'm talking to you guys. Make sure to grab your freebie. I created this whole amazing free trend guide for you guys, so look down in this description below to check that out. And if you want to see more live streams from me and be able to interact with me on live video, you should sign up for the Design Tribe Facebook group where I do live streams mostly once a week. And then if you are kind of like, hey, I'm busy and I want to be able to listen, but while I'm doing stuff, I also have a podcast. Like I upload a large majority of my YouTube videos to the podcast, so definitely check that out. Click the little bell to get notified every time I come out with a new video. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Be sure to click the little bell to get notified every time I come out with a new video, and I wish you all the best in 2020. This is gonna be the year to make it happen, whatever that is for you. So I'm so excited for you. Let me know what your goals are for 2020 down below in the comments. I'm super excited for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Yeah, so I still feel a little awkward when someone passes by me and I'm trying to film myself, but I will. I think more and more people are going to be doing this, so people are going to kind of get more used to seeing people vlogging in public. But this park is pretty quiet, as you can see. There are not a ton of people around, so it's quite nice. I'm really lucky, really blessed, really fortunate. So it's so important to be grateful for the last year that we've had in 2019. It can be hard sometimes, but super important to do.